Hey everybody, Palm Springs Cindy. Today's video, I want to talk about my hair and about my doctor visit and probably about, I think I'm losing my mind. So let's start with my hair. I had my hair appointment 2 days ago, I think. And I really went in with the attitude of I need a new style, I need a new look. I wanted to stay with blonde, but I wanted dark roots. And so I went with Stacey, and I talked about this in my last video. So I got to the salon, and I'm going to put the details of the salon, the information from the salon in my details below. And so Stacey, I mean to say, she worked, I was in there for several hours because she did a lot of work. The first thing she did was, well, I showed her pictures again to kind of like go over what I was thinking about for a hairstyle and color. Then she did my roots. She darkened all my roots because I had gray this much grown in. And then after she did my roots, she did a cut. She didn't really cut that much, but she definitely trimmed it and gave it a little bit of shape. Then, because I can't decide if I'm going to let it get longer or go. I'm thinking maybe even go shorter. We'll see. Then she put the blonde in, and so all of that took a lot of time. So by the time I left there, I liked the result. I have to say I did like the result, but I kind of felt like I was too blonde, not enough dark in here, not enough dark around my face. So I did talk to her, and I'm going to go back Saturday, and she's going to add some darkness to my roots, and I'll show you some pictures. I'm so glad to have some coffee with you this morning, my iced coffee. And for some reason, you guys, my eyes cannot stop tearing. I'm having allergies, and there's a lot of grass cutting, replanting, tree trimming, all that stuff's going on right now in our area. And it's really affecting my eyes and my sinuses. Okay, so now, when I was at the hair salon, it's Stacey and Mark, and they're both just a hoot and a half. I really liked them. And I told them about my YouTube channel, and then I said I was coming to get a hairstyle and all that. And so they were talking about mentioned they should start a YouTube channel. And I was like all over it. I thought you totally should do that because they've got great personalities, and they have a lot to offer. They have a lot of information to offer the world, and especially, ladies and especially mature ladies, I think, because we need help as our hair is changing, as we're growing older. We need help with understanding color and style of haircuts, and I got a kick out of Stacey and Mark because they said, well, we have people that call us and want to make an appointment, but they say, they don't want an old lady haircut. They don't want to look like an old lady. And they said, well, we just say, we don't give old lady haircuts. That's not one of their specialties. So anyway, I enjoyed meeting them and talking with them. And Stacey turned me on to a new hair tool. I'm going to share it with you. Now, I'm not giving you the full Monty of it today because to really do that, I want to use it and show you how it's used. But also, Stacey has put an Instagram video of herself using this tool, and I'll see if I can somehow turn you onto that so you can watch that on Instagram. So this is not a paid production or paid product endorsement. It's just me sharing what I bought from Stacey, and that I like it, and I just want to share it. So it's called Vavoom, and I think you're going to see this backwards. I'm not sure, but this is what the iron looks like. and it adds volume to your hair. This is the tool itself. And it's like a crimping iron, like those old-fashioned, well, not old-fashioned. I used crimping irons on my hair when I was younger to give it, that crimp look. But it's sort of like a waffle crimp iron in there. And then what you do, I don't want to really mess my hair up, but what you do is, it's a matter of going at the root of your hairline, basically. And then this adds, it kind of scrunches your hair up right there and adds volume. Now it does leave that waffle print in your hair. That's why I couldn't do it right here. I'd have to lift this section up, turn it over, pick up the next section, and then va-voom that. And then put this section back down over on top of it. So that's why I really need to demonstrate it. But you turn it on. It does lock into position. It does lock. There you go. It locks into position. So when you're going to use it, you unlock it. And then you press the button. I don't have it plugged in. But I think there are 3 or 4 levels of heat intensity. And so anyway, this is a new product I had not known about, and she turned me onto it because I do like voluminous hair. So okay, I am going to go back on Saturday. She's going to put some darkness in along here and around my face, because I feel a little bit washed out, and I need to lighten my eyebrows. They look, I don't know how much you can tell. I did lighten them yesterday, but I think my product was old because it really didn't lighten them. It may be one smidgen of a level, I'll say. But I think they need to be a little bit more a little lighter. I'm going to wait till she adds the darkness to my hair first. Okay, now here's the heavy duty subject. You guys, I don't want to say it out loud because I believe that there is power in words, but I have a calendar that I keep of my appointments and activities. I'm not a doofus. I know to do that. I also do it on my phone, and then sometimes I have to transfer dates from my phone to my paper calendar. But yes, I do. So last week I have a very important doctor appointment. It's my yearly physical, but I've had my blood work done and all that, so he's going to go over it with me. Well, last week was my appointment, and first of all, I think I said in a previous video how I hate to go to the doctor, and I know nobody likes to go to the doctor, but I'm going to tell you what my deal is. When my mother was so sick, and she, like in her early 90s, before she passed away, and she things started going wrong with her. So she would go to her doctor, and the doctor would say, oh yeah, first of all, there was always a language barrier, it seemed like, and when you're trying to communicate with the doctor important things about what's going wrong with you, and then the doctor is listening to you and then communicates back to you, but the doctor's accent is so strong, or the doctor's vocabulary might be a bit different, and then my mother, who's elderly and can't hear that well, her hearing is a bit of a problem in the communication. So when you combine the elderliness of my mother and her hearing issue, which was just she didn't wear hearing aids, but towards the end of her life, she was getting a little hard of hearing. So, but add that to a doctor with a very strong foreign accent, add that to a doctor who used probably cultural language, different language, as well as medical jargon, and there was miscommunication. So that's why it's always good to have someone go with you, to be your advocate, I'll say. So by the time my mother would finish with her doctor, her primary, I'll say, then the primary would like send orders for her to go see another doctor about one of the items she talked about, and then maybe put another order in to see another specialist about something. So maybe 3 different doctors now she has to go to see. So then those doctors have to call my mother and then make an appointment. And then all of that has to be coordinated. And that's if the doctors get back to my mother to say, we got your doctor's note that you need to see us, so let's make an appointment. Lots of times that section never happened. And then we would say to my mom, have you heard from the neurologist? Or Mom, have you heard from the skin doctor or whatever? And then she'd go, no, I'm still waiting. And then we go, okay, you need to call them. And then she would be like, well, I don't remember their names. And then we go, well, then we need to call your primary and find out, and let the primary know that they have not contacted you yet. How long is it going to take for them to do that? Okay, so that's one red flag. Then another thing that I don't like is, then let's say they follow through. Now you've got your appointments. Well, the doctors are way out of town. So my mom, we need to drive my mother, or one of her kids or a friend or somebody needs to drive her to the doctor because she doesn't have her license anymore. And so it's a long time to get to the doctor. Then you wait for what seems like an hour in the office. Then you get into the room and the doctor's like, well, this is our first visit. I'm going to have to run tests on you. So, it's this giant domino thing and I just had a very bad taste in my mouth. My mother ended up passing away before she got any of her test results. And so you can hear the angst in my voice. So that's part of why I don't like going to the doctor. But I do have to go, and so I went today. Well, last week was my appointment. I woke up that morning and I did not feel well. I was exhausted. I felt like I was coming down with something. I called the office. I kept myself awake till 9:00, and I called the office to say, I'm sick. I cannot come in. They said, okay, well, but I have to reschedule. So we rescheduled for today, like a week later. Thank goodness I got in. So I got up this morning, and I set my alarm all night. I was like thinking, I've got to get to bed early because I'm going to get up early and I want to be clear-headed. It's an important visit. Now, one reason it was an important visit is because my cholesterol is 333 up to 333. And that's, I could stroke. So right away, I'm supposed to be on a statin, but my prescription ran out, and then I had my doctor appointment coming up, so I thought, well, I'll just wait. Well, anyway, I couldn't wait, so I called the doctor. He had, it was one of those where it could not be automatically refilled. So, okay, got that going, and I've been on that, so I'm hoping that my cholesterol is getting better. And so that was the huge thing that was wrong with me, is my cholesterol. So, okay, get up this morning, I get dressed. Well, I thought, what office is he in today? I know he has a Palm Springs office and a Palm Desert office. And so I got dressed, I got in the car, and I was going to punch in his address in my navigation. So I phoned, well, no, I don't have an appointment. My appointment was yesterday, and I missed it. So I felt like such a dork. And so I said, what could I say? So I told the nurse, I said, I have it written down on my calendar that it is today. I can't believe I did this. I'm so sorry. And so I said, but here's the deal. I have got to see the doctor. It's really important. Oh, something else I haven't told you guys. And you'll get this. It's been about a month, I'm going to say, maybe 5 weeks. I went to my daughter's to pick up her dog, to babysit her dog. Or for some reason I was at my daughter's. And I was standing on the way back to my visit. I was finished with the visit. And I was going back to my car. And I walked into her front yard grass. Well, when I got in my car and I was driving, my left ankle started burning and itching, itching. I had to pull off, scratch, and looked at my ankle. Well, I couldn't see anything. There was no redness or anything yet. So, but it was horrible. I even had a diet soda, and when I stopped, I pulled the ice out and held it up to my ankle. Anyway, it was hideous. So I got home, and it was pretty bad. So I was bit by something, but I don't know what. I figured it was ants, like red ants. So, okay, that's horrible. That is still a problem right now. I'm going to share a picture of what it looks like. You're not going to believe it. Okay, then a week later, I went back to my daughter's, maybe to return, for whatever reason. And on my way back to my car, once again, I stood in the grass, and on my right ankle, I felt burning and itching. So, oh my gosh, no. So I ran out of the grass quickly. And I was standing in the grass like a nanosecond. Get to my car. That night, I broke out in red welts with a white top. I'll show you pictures of that too. I looked it up, and it's some type of a ant bite. Well, that itched, but not as horribly itchy burny as my left ankle. Two different critters bit me. So the one on my right ankle was bad, but that after 4 days-ish, that was gone. This is still here, and it's worse than ever. And I've been meaning to go to the urgent care. But then I thought, well, I've got my doctor appointment. Now I missed my doctor appointment. Well, I better go to urgent care. It's like, well, just wait. And I hate going to the urgent care because you sit there, wait for 10 hours. And then, so I kept thinking, well, I've got that doctor appointment coming up. And so let me tell you what I've been doing for my horrible ankle bite on my left ankle. I went online, and I'm thinking it was, well, who knows what it is? It came from the grass, and it wasn't the same bite on my right ankle. But they said one of the home remedies was to get like an oil. They suggested lavender oil or a blah 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 oil. Well, I have this castor oil. It's the organic black castor oil, and I got this for my face. So this is another story I'll have to tell you. Well, anyway, I put this, wash I keep it clean, then I put alcohol all on the bites, and then I let that dry, and then I rub the castor oil in, then I put saran wrap around my ankle before I go to bed. This is before I go to bed. So I don't want to scratch the ankle because I've been doing that, and I think it's infected. So for some reason, it stops the itching, and I can go, like right now, it's not really itching right now, but what happens is as the day goes on, and I put my nightgown on or whatever, the hem of my garment rubs that area and makes it start itching. I want to talk to the doctor about my left ankle bites. It's really bad. I'm kind of embarrassed to share it with you. Okay, so that's my story. So I'm going today. So the lady, Brenda, was so nice. And she said, we can get you in at 2:15 this afternoon. Great. Which means I had to cancel my mahjong appointment game. And that's not good because then sometimes, you have to have 4 to play, but you can really play with 3. Better to play with 4. But I figured I need to get to the doctor. And my house is a total mess. If you could see what I could see, you would crack up. Yes, you would. Okay, I want to say thank you guys to all the comments. I know I have not responded to hardly anybody, but I want to. I plan to. all your loving comments about I'm having trouble finding purpose for my life at 74 video. You know what? A lot of you, so many of you, which of course just makes me feel so good, say, oh, Cindy, don't slight the fact that you have this YouTube channel because, you've helped me in this way or that way, this way, that way. And as you get specific, my heart just smiles because I think that, that is so neat that you guys are responsive and responding to me in that way. It does my heart good for sure. And I am babysitting my daughter's dog, May. I think she's 17, maybe 18. And I've talked to you about her before. She's a little white Maltipoo. She's Mrs. Magoo. She doesn't hear well. She doesn't see well. And she's cute as a button. She's got a little orange bow in her hair for the season of fall. And she just walks. Oh, I have two beautiful monarch butterflies right there. Just fluttering around together like friends. And so May, she just walks. She's a foodie. And she can hardly eat anything. She's got a bad tummy and a bad liver and a bad this and a bad that. So she's very restricted. She's on all kinds of medication. But she's happy, and I don't think she's in any pain. And like I said, she just walks around. She's always under my feet and has no idea that I'm about ready to trip over her 100 times a day. But I just stop and let her do her walk or sit and stay and stare, whatever. Heaven forbid you'd ruffle her feathers in fact, I said to my daughter, when May does pass over the rainbow, I hope that God lets her know what a great mother in life she has had. I hope that there's some way that God touches her little brain and says, do you get how fortunate you were to have Brooke as a mother? All the money she spent on medication for you, all the protection she gave you, all the TLC she gave you. And so Brooke and I decided, yeah, there has to be a way for that to happen, for sure. We want our animals to know that they were so loved. Poppy was an Energizer bunny this morning. I was up early to go to the doctor. I had a 9:45 appointment. Well, she was jumping around, running up and down on the bed, jumping up and down the bed, running. So I thought, I took her out when I realized I didn't have the doctor appointment. I started cleaning up the house and I thought, I can't stand it. So I put her in the golf cart. She pulled the golf cart. I was practically I was not going slow, put it that way. And so she ran and ran and ran. She probably ran, I'm going to say 3 miles. I took her all over the neighborhood, and I like to take her, I know certain streets where there's no traffic, and it's just a straight street, up, down, and there's no distractions. And then I run her, well, I don't run her, she runs me. She runs, and then I stop her a little bit and just let her smell. Because smelling, they need to smell the scents. And then I take her to another area, and then we run, and then I can tell when she's done. She's like, well, I'm slowed down by then. And then she starts looking at me, looking at me, and then I stop. She hops up on the golf cart. And then I drive her just so she can be a passenger, because she, the breeze in her ear, and we go slow. And then she starts looking at me like, I went down. And then I stop and I go, you went down? She jumps right out and starts running like crazy. So I ran her, and then we came back and got May. And then I put May on the seat and a Poppy on the seat. So three of us on the seat. Something must be going on in their backyard. Ain't nothing happening in mine. So then I put both of the dogs on the seat, and I took them for a ride around the neighborhood. And Poppy wanted to get down, so she got down, and We went slow. Trot, 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 trot. So anyway, we're back home, and then I'm doing this video. Now I'm doing everything I can to keep from having to clean up my house. I did clean up my kitchen, but the rest of the house, it takes me like 6 minutes, really. P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation. Bye-bye. Poppy, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, tell him hello again. Can you say hello? Oh, you tired? You're trying to talk? Okay, wag your tail if you say, hello, YouTube world. Good girl. And look who's over here is little May. She's going to take a siesta. A siesta.